Good morning, everybody. My name is Robin, and welcome to my channel, Bird's Eye Stitches. This is a channel about cross stitch, so if you are new here, then welcome. I hope you are here because you have a love of cross stitch like I do, and if you are returning, then clearly you are still welcome, and you must be here because you have a love of cross stitch just like I do. Today is Sunday. It is January 5th, 2025. So Happy New Year to everybody. I love a new year and I love January. I don't love the cold, and I use the term cold loosely because I live in Arizona and I live in a warm area of Arizona. So the sun is shining. It's like 10 a.m., full sun. It's like 60 degrees, but that's cold to me. So anyway, January. Lots of stuff to show you guys. I've got a couple finishes. Go over a little bit of plans, a little bit of whips, not much haul because I am stitching from stash. For those of you who did not catch my planning video, I have lots of plans for the year, but I am keeping most of my stuff to the Magazine Monthly Challenge, Whip Go, and just trying to stitch from stash. So just those three things. I'll probably throw in the 25/7 starting in February. I just knew that this month with Bringo and everything else, there was zero chance I'd be able to devote an hour or 25 minutes each day to one thing along with all the rest. So anyway, lots to go over. First check-in of the year. Excited for this to be first of many. So we will get right to it. All right, let's see. On top we have some finishes. Actually, on top we have a planner. So I would like to start most of my check-ins this year by looking at my planner. I have the Stitching Journal and Planner. Looks like this. I got this one from the Black Needle Society. And so far I'm really enjoying the layout. So just for a quick overview of what we've done so far for the month, we have this. So I'm using this page. They've got one of these main calendar pages. You know, it's a calendar, it's a planner. It has a full monthly calendar on every month. But I am using this one to track simply minutes that I spent stitching. And then I like the stickers. So I'm going to use a sticker for new starts, a sticker for finishes, and a sticker for frog, which hopefully will not show up this month. I rarely do it. Normally I just live with my mistake, but if I have to frog, I'm gonna put a sticker on that too. So we're only on the first week, looks like this, and just tracking minutes on that one. I'm also using this one to track my Magazine Monthly Challenge acrostics and the Whip Go numbers that are called for the month, just so I have that on that first page. All right, the fun pieces. So every month there is a daily stitch tracker. This has been super fun. So mine looks like this. I went with the colors of blues and purples for January. But I am tracking, this has how much time I spend each day. So I did 30 minutes being the minimum, hoping I don't have any blank squares. 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 2 hours, 3 hours, and then 4+ hours. So I've only done January 1st through 4th, but it looks like this, indicating that I've been spending anywhere from 120 minutes. That's been about the most. So it's been a busy month so far, but that's okay. It looks nice so far. All right, next thing is they have a project progress tracker. So I love the idea of this. I don't know that I love the way that I set mine up for January, so I'll probably make some adjustments for February. But for January, I put down like the big projects that I'll be working on this month, and I haven't done a whole lot of work on them just yet because I was focused on some other things, but mine looks like this. So the pieces I have on here are Spring Quaker, Consider the Lilies, Cat Tarot 4, E Pluribus Unum, Dashing in the Snow, Tree of Butterflies, Medieval Pheasant, and New Year in the Village. So most of these come from my Magazine Monthly Challenge acrostic, and that's what I use to put on here. And for each day that I work on them, I'll color in the square with the coordinating time. Next month, I probably won't link it to my Magazine Monthly Challenge acrostic, simply because I only really work on those for like 2 hours each. So it'll have a lot of blank squares, but that's all right. Trying something new. Still like it. Next thing is there is a piece for your works in progress for the month. I'm going to fill this out towards the end of the month just so that I can use it to track how many minutes of total stitching I did on each project. And then there'll be a master list that's in the back so we can track that for the year. There is a spot for wish list, which I will also fill out towards the end of the month. I've got some notes that I've been taking. I've been watching a lot of Flosstube. I've been watching a lot of people's their New Year wrap up, you know, where they do the whip parade and all of that. So of course, I have a sticky note with quite a few pieces that I would love to pick up when I've earned enough money to pick them up, because we are stitching from stash. Which brings me to this bottom part. I just did a little makeshift piece. It's not beautiful, but that's okay. This is where you're supposed to list your purchases. I am making this my Stitch from Stash thing to log every month. I started with my budget of $0. And because I do have a couple of finishes, I've already earned some money, which I use that term loosely, of course, because it's my own money. But I've already earned some money from those finishes because I got them finished on the first week of January. So I will show those to you shortly. All right, last but not least, for those of you who want to see this piece of the planner, we have, so every week they give you the week in a broken down section where there's like 3 different sections. So there's like the top row of the first week, and then middle, and then bottom row. So I think how I want to use this is on the top row, I'm listing, like for example, our Bringo calls. I'm putting those down on the top row because those would be things that were called that I'm going to be working on that day, potentially. Or the top row will hold like my goals for the week, essentially. The middle row is where I'm actually writing what I did. So, you know, how much time did I spend stitching each thing? And that way I can break that down at the end of the month. And then the bottom row is where you can put, I'm putting stickers and fun things. And the stickers are to, you know, commemorate either new starts, finishes, floss tubes, because I want to make those a priority. So just kind of where I can put little notes about things that I'm working on. So when I'm flipping back through, I can see that. So looks like this so far. I haven't done anything for Saturday because I just worked on this Saturday morning, so I hadn't done my stitching yet. But you can see that I have a new start on the 3rd, which was Cat Tarot, which I'll be showing you. And I had a finish here on the 1st. And actually, I had a finish yesterday too, which I just haven't logged because it'll go right here. So, all right, so that is a little bit more in-depth view of the planner. But my hope is honestly that it's just going to keep me more motivated. I always track, I don't track stitches, I track time, and I usually write it down on like a sticky note or something. But it's really fun to put it into something where it looks a little bit nicer. And it would be really nice to be able to open up this up and say at the end of the month how much time I spent stitching and all that good stuff. So it's early, it's been a week, but so far so good, right? Okay, let's talk finishes because they're on top of my pile. Finish number 1. New Year in the Village. So I started this piece 6 years ago. And I know it was 6 years ago because I started it when I started my original Flosstube channel, which was Thimble and Twine Stitches, I believe, 6 years ago, which I started it at the same time as Carolyn Zook from Zook Stitch. So luckily, Carolyn tracks time and all the things, and I just watched her 6-year Flosstube anniversary video. So if you have not looked at that, go and watch it because it's amazing. But because of that, I know that I started this 6 years ago, because 6 years ago, I was not taking great notes. Heck, 1 year ago, I wasn't taking great notes. It's finally finished. So here we go. We have New Year in the Village by Alessandra Adelaide. Mine is stitched on a piece of Storm 32 count opalescent linen from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And I haven't ironed this guy yet, so it might be a little wrinkly. here we go. There it is, fully finished. Okay, wait, fully completed, not fully finished, not ironed, clearly. But I just love it. The light isn't picking it up great, but there is some Krynic used in the fireworks. I can't see you at all, but we're gonna go side to side. Here we go. I will tell you that this firework, this big red and orange one, was a beast. It is huge. It doesn't look that big here, but it's huge. So that actually took quite a bit of time. I found quite a few spots as I was going through where I had missed like I'd missed some snow down here, so I had to fill that in. You know, just little pieces where like I may have run out of floss or something like that, and then I moved the Q-snap and forgot about it. But I love it. It is finally done. I'll be ironing it and getting the measurements and probably framing it, or maybe seeing if I can find someone to do like a flat fold or something like that. This piece will go up and will hang in my house over the whole winter holiday. Obviously it's not Christmas, but it is pretty wintry, so it'll be something that I can hang up during the winter and during the new year. Really, it was just amazing to finally finish this piece because I started this piece New Year's when I started my original Flosstube. It's been with me. It sat in a cupboard in the closet for probably a good year before I picked it up at one point. It's moved through 2 different houses. I remember taking this piece to the attic when we used to do some stitch-ins and working on it there. And I think I sat next to, what is her Flosstube name? Stitching and Sequins, maybe. But, you know, I talked to her at great lengths about this piece and about the fabric, and I love thinking about pieces that take a long time because there's so many memories that are tied up with that piece. So this one is finally done. We'll get it ironed, framed. I will show it to you in the near future. And now I have many other big pieces to start and to finish. All right. Oh, and this one was finished on the 1st. So I stitched everything except for part of that big giant firework and then the Krynic towards the end of February. And then I purposely left about 2 hours of work on the 1st so I could finish it on that day. So in doing that, I think I earned like $40 from Stitch from Stash money, just because it is a larger piece and it's on specialty fabric and has some specialty floss. So speaking of Stitch from Stash, I had a question from, I wrote it down, Craft So Hard on my planning video from like a week ago. So Craft So Hard was asking if Stitch from Stash was a Facebook group, or, you know, basically what the details are of that. So for those of you who are not familiar with Stitch from Stash, it is a Facebook group. It is not my Facebook group. It's been around for, I think it started in maybe 2017. When you go onto Facebook and you look it up, it says like Stitch from Stash 2017 through 2025. So the idea is you give yourself a starting budget, or whatever your monthly budget is. For me, it's $0 because I have a ton of stash. But for others, you know, they might say every month they give themselves $20 or $25 or whatever that budget is. It's your own money, right? No one's giving you money or anything like that. So it's your own money and your own budget. But the idea is that you keep a running total. So in January, if your budget is $20 a month, you're starting January 1 off with $20. Then in order to earn money, you have to finish projects. So within the group, there is a chart. And the chart says, if you finish a piece, you basically count up, you know, what the dimensions of the piece are, and then you add the dimensions together, divide them by 2, and then you look at the chart to see how much you earn for that finish. Then on top of that, if you use specialty fabric or specialty floss, you can get 10% for both of those things. So you're just keeping track yourself. You know, you take photos, right? Like, here's what I finished, here's how much I'm earning for it. And then you just track how much your budget is at the end of the month. And obviously, if you make any purchases, you subtract that from what your budget is. So for me, I started out with a 0 budget, and I've got 2 finishes to show you guys. Between those 2, I have earned like $60 and some change. So anything that I do go to purchase, I am just going to deduct from that and keep track of it every month and see where I am at the end of the year. That's all it is. It's really fun though. Everybody cheers each other on, and it's fun to see everyone's finishes throughout that Facebook group. So if you're interested, then I'll try to put a link to it in the description box, but I've been having a hard time with my Facebook links. All the other links work, but the Facebook ones are a little weird, but we'll see. Okay, anyway, so New Year in the Village, finally done. You'll only see it again when I show it to you guys when it's fully finished, or next year when I take it back out to go up on a wall. That's the deal. Second finish. This one, I say I kind of cheated because it was close to a finish in December, but knowing I was going to be stitching from stash, I held off to finish a chunk of it until January. So, next one up was Barbara Anna Designs Funky Bird. Looks like this. And I had stitched in December. The sun just went behind a cloud, so my lighting got a little weird, but that's okay. So in December, I stitched everything except for the bird's head. So I had done, like, there's a little light design within the bird's head. I did that piece, but I didn't do the fill-in, which was like 120 stitches. So I left that for January. I stitched mine on a piece of 32 count even weave from Fort 9 Fabrics in the color Calatori, Valahari. Still don't know what that says, but you all have seen this card a few different times. So mine, and this fabric is obviously way too big, so I will be cutting this down and using it for something else. But ta-da! We have a funky bird. And the color is a smidge washed out with the light, but I really love the way it turned out. So I did this one from stash, so I used called for colors for most of it, and then I subbed in just a couple DMCs if I didn't have what they called for. But I love the way it turned out. I thought this one was completely finished, and then I took a photo of it and sent it to some of my stitchy friends in one of our Facebook chats. And I would, put the little bells on there saying, ding, 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 I got to finish. And then, when you look at something, like you look at the picture and then you see things you didn't see with your own eye, I realized I had this little ball on top of his head filled in, but these 2 were just the open circles. So then I had to say, I take that back, give me 5 minutes, let me fill in these circles, which I did. And then I resent it out with the ding, ding, ding. So completely done. This one will go in a frame because this one is going up on the bird wall. I went to go look for a frame yesterday. I didn't see one at Goodwill that I liked. So we will probably hit maybe Hobby Lobby or Walmart at some point this week and see if they have any, they always have coupons and whatnot for a frame. But I'll see what I can find for this guy. So it will be framed fairly soon, and I will show it to you guys before I put it up on the bird wall. But that was finish number 2. I will not be keeping up this pace because not all the rest of my stuff, but most of the rest of my things that I'll be working on are ginormous and are either a brand new start or nowhere near a finish. So it was fun to log those 2 finishes early on. 2 down, probably won't get any more for the month of January. Maybe a magazine piece, but we'll see. All right, next step that I've been working on, I'll show you guys my travel piece. So I have a different travel piece. It's not a Mill Hill, but it's on a 14 count white Aida, so it's fairly easy to see while I'm traveling. It's not the most simple of pieces because there's kind of a lot of counting involved, but I think once I get the center done, it'll be kind of simple to work on in the car. So my travel piece, I'm looking to see if there's a photo of it. There is not. So this one didn't have a photo of it on, it was like on the wrapper and that's it. So I'll just describe it. It looks like this currently. If you cannot tell just yet, this will be a pine tree. It's all in shades of blue. And it's a whole bunch of pine trees that are all put together with some half stitches and full cross stitches in all different shades of blue and gray. I will get the name of it here in just a moment. But over this last week in the car, I completed this light gray area here and up here. And then I did some half stitches, which are kind of sprinkled through. These half stitches hurt my brain because I've never done this before, but I was watching, I don't know who I was watching, but someone mentioned in their Flosstube that when they do half stitches, that instead of, I normally do my stitches bottom left to top right for the first cross and then bottom right to top left for the second cross. So the Flosstuber I was watching said that when they do their half stitches that they do the top half of their half stitch. So I always used to just do the bottom leg of the cross. So my half stitches would go, you know, this way because that's what I do first. But then it did make sense that when you're looking at it, now you have a lot of full X's that end going this way, and then your half stitches go the other way. So I thought this would be a good piece to try that and see if it makes a difference. Trying to get your mind to do, number one, just a half stitch, and number two, a backwards half stitch. It took a minute, but we're getting somewhere. So this piece stays with me in the car. I actually have to go and visit my dad. My dad lives up north, so right after this will be, it's about an hour and a half drive. Obviously I'm not the driver when I'm doing this, but my husband will be driving, so I will get some time to stitch on this. I can't do it when it's like busy traffic because there's just too much moving and I'll get car sick, but it's a Sunday, so it should be a fairly easy drive. Okay, this piece is called Watercolor Trees, and it's by Loops and Threads. And I got it as a kit from either Michael's or Walmart, something like that. So again, I don't have a photo of it because the picture is just the pattern. But you all will see it come to life. And if you haven't seen this piece, then it'll be like a mystery. You know, it's like a mystery Sal that you don't have to stitch. So there we go. All right. Oh, and as far as time, I've only put about 40 minutes in on this piece for the month of January. All right, next up in things I have been working on is a piece for Bringo. So if you don't know what Bringo is, just flip to this page here. Okay, so Bringo is a pop-up challenge, but it's a month-long pop-up challenge from the Magazine Monthly Challenge cross-stitch group, which is on Facebook. That's a group that my friend Carolyn from Zook Stitch and I both co-run. And the idea of that group is, you know, to get some stitching done from any of these magazines that you have just sitting around, and or to get stitching done and just touch lots of different pieces. So every month in that group, we have an acrostic, we have a theme, and we have, oh, Carolyn, you're gonna say, I need to write this word down. It's like a word jumble, but it's not a word jumble. We've got a new thing this month, which is clearly new, and I can't remember what the heck it's called. But we have monthly little challenges that you can set up for yourself, and they're basically things that can get you working on different pieces or make progress on the same piece if you are creative and can get that piece to fit for multiple layers. Now, this month in January, we also have Bringo. So Bringo is like a bingo board, but we have 25 different prompts that you can download what the prompts are. And it's also not too late to start because there's 25 different prompts, and obviously there's more than 25 days in the month, so you'd have the whole month to get all these things done. But anyway, Carolyn calls the prompts the night before, so you know what to stitch on for the next day, or just what to stitch on, you know, whenever you get to it. For example, I have stitched on 2 of the calls so far, and we're on day 5. So I've got 3 things to make up, which is fine. I've got some time set aside for that, but I've done 2 of the 5 hours. Most of the prompts are 1 hour or 100 stitches. So, all right, so the prompts that she has called, the ones that relate to this piece, Spring Has Sprung, I have done some stitching on. So eventually it will look like this. And for me personally, I am trying to do all of my pop-up challenges from magazines. And so my entire Bringo board is all from magazines. So this is Spring Has Sprung. It is by Claire Comerford, and it is in the World of Cross Stitching magazine, issue number 40. This is back when they weren't really saying month and year. It looks like this. Right. Mine looks like this. Here is where we are. So I've done 2 hours of stitching on this. This is on my board 3 more times, but in those 2 hours, I did the fill-in light yellow. There's another shade of yellow in here, so I did 2 different shades of yellow, and all of this section here. So that is where we're at. Within the next 3 times it's called, my hope is to get the fill-in of this flower completely done. And when I'm working on this piece, I usually just, because there's a lot of like confetti within this piece. I mean, it's traditional magazine looking piece, right? Lots of backstitch, lots of confetti. So I try to get all the stitches that I can within reason of that one color. So I'll fill in this guy here, and then I'll see if there's more of this color within these other surrounding daffodils. And if there are, then I will work on those too. But that is that. All right. Next thing that I worked on was actually a new start, and Carolyn, you'll be so proud. I actually wrote down notes because it's 2025 and I'm finally writing down notes. So this is Cat Tarot 4, The Lovers by Dirty Annie, or Dirty Annie's Southern Style. I'm stitching it on 40 count Ashley Down linen in the color Tabby Cat, going 1/2, and I am for the most part using the called for DMC. So I'm actually stitching this for somebody, and she requested kind of muted colors. So as I go to stitch each motif, I'm pulling, I have all the DMC already pulled for it, but I'll probably be comparing, you know, what it looks like here versus what I have in the DMC. And I might mute down a couple of the colors. Specifically, she didn't really love the bright red, so I might be muting down some of the reds and some of the bright yellows. But for the most part, it'll be called for DMC. And this was a new start. I have worked on it for 3 hours so far, and we are here. We are in the border. This is, I forgot how small 40 count is. It's not that bad because I am doing it over 2. We are here. In person, because the color's a little bit brighter, I'll make sure to get my lights on for the next one, but in person, the colors here are black, it's like a gold, and then a maroon. And I'm in Arizona. I am somewhat near ASU. Their colors are maroon and gold. So I'm feeling very like college football-esque as I stitch this border, which is totally not the same vibe, obviously, as what this is. But once the border's done and we start doing the fill-in, it will no longer look like ASU, and it will look like a quirky Cat Tarot card. So that is that. My goal on this, I'll kind of just touch on goals as we go. So my goal on this one is, I started this on Wednesday. So by this coming Wednesday, I want to have the border done of all 3 colors. And then the following week, I'm gonna work on the sun. So I'm trying to get this one done in about 8 weeks. And so it'll be close, but I think if I can do, you know, 1 motif, I'll call it, per week or 2 weeks, then we should be in pretty good shape. All right, that's Cat Tarot. I'm really excited to see this one whenever it's complete. That is it. That is it for my week. So 2 finishes, 1 Magazine Monthly Challenge Bringo piece, and the new start of Cat Tarot. So we'll talk a little bit about upcoming plans for the week. And then I don't truly have any haul, but I do have some highlights from the Black Needle Society's Nice List Advent box. I kind of kitted everything up the way it came so I can just do a high-level overview of all the amazing goodies that came in that. So, plans first. Oh, okay. Tonight, when I get home from my dad's, Carolyn, finally starting Heartstring Samplery, Consider the Lilies. So this is on my WhipGo board, and one of the numbers it's assigned to is called. My goal on my WhipGo board is to do 10 hours every time it's called. This particular one is the only one that is going to be a new start. So I'm going to be starting this one today, and it's going to get 10 hours over the next 2 weeks because after that I'm switching to my second WhipGo piece. So finally happening, more to come on that. January is like the month of starts. Seriously, it truly is. E Pluribus Unum, this is going to be my New Year, New Start. I haven't started it yet, but that will be started over this next week. Everything is pulled. I have my fabric. It is all ready to rock and ready to roll. I just need to start it at some point. It'll be a weekday start. So we have that on the to-do list. I also have this one on my Magazine Monthly Challenge acrostic. So it's slotted to get 2 hours for that acrostic. That's probably all it will get this month just because it's such a busy month with WhipGo and Bringo. My Bringo magazine piece that's had 3 calls for it. So that piece with the daffodils had 2 calls so far. This one has now been called 3 times. So we are pulling out Majestic Unicorn. Currently looks like this, and it's going to get about 3 hours of work done so far this week. Maybe she'll call the other 2 numbers. We will have to see, but at least 3 hours on this guy. And I have to get kitted up. I haven't even kitted this one yet, but it won't take long. This is Dashing Through the Snow by Lucy Heaton Cross Stitch Designs. Try to fold it properly so I'm not showing the pattern. There we go. Okay, it will eventually look something like that. And I have this one for my theme piece for the Magazine Monthly Challenge. I didn't have anything truly fitting, so I figured might as well do a new start. And this one is from the 2018 Holiday Christmas Ornament Special from Just Cross Stitch. Like that. So I want to get this kitted up and started, or at least just kitted up. I may not start it till the following week with all these other starts and all the other stitching, but we'll see. So that's it for plans. Lots of new starts planned for this month. I don't really have a whole lot of new starts planned for February. I do have a trip coming up in February. So February 4th will be my 1-year wedding anniversary. So we'll be going out of town for a few days that week. I will be bringing some stitching with me, but it'll just be one piece. And so essentially for that month, it's going to be not nearly as much starts. But January is always the month where I'm the most motivated, and you know, if you can do something every day for 30 days, right? They say that it makes it a habit. So why not get cross stitching back in my daily habit making life? Yes. Okay. Speaking of habits, where's this at? Going to the post office. So I would like to bring back an occasional giveaway. So let's start with this one. So I finished this piece, obviously, so I have no use for this pattern. The pattern that I have, because I did mark up, this came with like 2 different versions of the same pattern. I marked one up, so that one, obviously I'm not gonna give away to somebody else, but there is a full color pattern of this still left, without showing the whole thing, its color like that. So if you don't mind a pattern that is colorful, those are harder for me to read, so they're not my favorite. But if you don't mind that, and if you would like to stitch the funky bird, then how about leave a comment and use the word funky. Should be some interesting comments with the word funky. But if you would like to stitch funky bird, use the word funky. I will ship this anywhere in the world, so you don't have to be in the US for this because it's just a pattern. So comment with the word funky, and I will pull a number on my next video and start getting back in the swing of things of getting some stuff mailed out. Because to be honest, I still have some Christmas presents that I gotta get sent out, and we're in January. So here we go. Number 1, funky. If you want to stitch a funky bird, leave it in the comment. Okay, haul. So stitching from stash, no haul, haven't bought anything yet. We're 5 days in, still good. I just want to show the highlights, we'll say, from the Black Needle Society's The Nice List Advent box. I don't remember how much I paid for it because I bought it a long time ago. I'm sure it was spendy because you get a lot of really good stuff. But with that said, you get a lot of really good stuff. So within this box, and I'm not showing everything, but you get 3 full patterns. One of them is Ollie Builds a Wreath by Ink Circles. It is an adorable octopus. This one came with 30 count water lily linen and Classic Colorworks floss. You get On the Naughty List by Silver Creek Samplers. Super cute. This one came with an 18 count cornflower blue Ada from Fiber on the Whim and DMC floss. And you got the Artsy Housewife's Blessings. Looks like this. This one came on a 40 count linen, maybe a 32 count linen, I can't remember, but it comes with a linen, and there we go, some really beautiful floss colors there. You also got, and I have not used this yet, but one of these amazing hoops that you can use to stitch, or you can use to stitch and then finish something in, whatever your preference is there. This guy. Okay, so I made shorts with a lot of these things, and when I opened this, I thought it was a dreidel. It's totally not a dreidel, so that's kind of embarrassing, but it was a short. I was rushed. I had 60 seconds. But this guy, he's just, I mean, to be fair, he's kind of shaped like a dreidel, but he's adorable. It's supposed to be like a joy drop. It's just like a little dude made out of clay, and he looks super happy. And he just is going to be sitting on my work desk now that I've shown him in the video, because he brings me joy. And at my work, I need all the joy I can get. So he's going to come to work with me. And then we got 3 bags. 3 bags. So there's a little guy. These are like, I don't know, they're like plastic canvas-ish. But they've got really nice lining to them. Super nice. So they are all like fox themed, fox and rabbit themed. So we've got this. And how cute is this? The little guy's working on a cross stitch. I just love it. That's the small. A medium size, which is this one here. This is super cute. You've got your little floss card here, little needles here. It's so cute. And look at the little owl. I love him. And then the big guy. How cute is that? Yeah. Look, there's a little mouse drinking hot chocolate or coffee. It's amazing. So there was more goodies than all of those. Oh my God, I just noticed the duck. Super cute. Okay, so more goodies than all of those. Those were just like the things that I'm probably going to use the absolute most. it was a great buy. So I do plan on purchasing it again next year. It was really fun to open it every day. And I feel like for the money you got a lot. 3 full projects. You got needles, you got needle minders, you got all the things you need to stitch it. You even have bags. So super awesome. Okay, it is time for me to make the trek up north. So happy stitching, happy January. Do leave a comment down below if you would like to be entered into the contest to win Funky Bird. I'd love to see more funky birds out there, and I can't wait to see a funky bird up on my wall. Lots to come this year. I have lots of plans, but my biggest goal, honestly, for cross stitch is consistency with making sure that I'm stitching, you know, if not every night, at least, you know, 4 to 5 nights a week. And hopping on to Flosstube. I love doing Flosstube videos. I love connecting with all of you guys and just being more connected, you know, with all of you, both on Facebook groups and on the Flosstube comments, all that stuff. Those are my 2 main goals, you know, starts, finishes, all that other stuff. It will come, not overly worried, but I just want to get back into the swing of things of truly stitching on a regular basis and connecting with you all on a regular basis, because you all are what make this hobby amazing. It's great on its own. It's amazing with you all. So happy January, happy New Year, happy stitching, and I will see you next time. Bye.